Live from all over this beautiful land, this is the Testosterone Zone with the fine men, Noel, Keith, and Steve. Take it, boys.
Welcome to episode 34 of the Testosterone Zone podcast. This is Noel. I'm with Steve, Keith.
What's up?
And our guest this week, Andy.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, everybody.
Welcome,
Andy.
Welcome, dudes.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Us too.
We've known Andy for a very long time, and he's a good one. So we're happy to finally get you on here, Andy. So it's good to have you.
About time.
The pick'em this week. I know I did pretty miserable. Well, not too miserable, but not as miserable as some of my last weeks. But Steve, how did the pick'em go this week?
Well, it's interesting who went 5-0. One of them was my wife, so she doesn't know that yet, by the way. But
does this count in some of the other games?
No. We'll leave that as our secret. But so of the four of us, Andy has the best record for last week. He went 4-1. So nice job, Andy.
Way to go, bud.
The rest of us went 3-2, and we managed to get to 3 wins 3 different ways. So go figure. But last week we had 3 people go 5-0, and our leader for the entire season is still my buddy Mike with 21 games, correct? Out of 25.
He is on fire, didn't he? Hasn't he had 2 5-0 weeks in a row?
Yep, 2 in a row, absolutely. And Pat's a game behind with 20 wins. So
nice job, Pat.
And then Billy with 19. So to be 19 and higher, that's pretty darn good 5 weeks in. So we have
Billy's going to be joining us soon, so that's going to be fun too.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. He's a good guy. Andy, you've listened to some of our episodes. You know that we have our backup teams because you know just as well as we do how hard it is to be a Texas Tech fan. So, Andy, I'm curious, do you have a backup team?
I've been thinking about this because, as you guys know, I'm definitely a loyal listener of the Testosterone Zone podcast.
Thank you.
But I've been listening when you guys have your backup teams, and I'm kind of torn a little bit, actually, because for as long as I can remember, my backup team has always been the University of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
However, just listening to you guys and trying to find somebody, seems like everybody with their backup teams is picking somebody that, has a really good shot at winning the national championship this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know that Michigan is in that elite level this year. I think they're going to do fairly well. I just don't know if they're in that elite level.
They squeaked it out against Northwestern, didn't they?
They did. That game should not have been that close. I actually watched a little bit of that game. That should not have been that close. But I think Northwestern's a little bit underrated, but Michigan should have put the hammer down a little better on that. But I think so. If I'm picking with my heart, I'm going to go with the Wolverines. But if I'm looking for somebody that I think might, stand a chance to really win the national championship, I think I'm going to have to go with Georgia.
Solid.
Okay.
I like it. I endorse it.
Andy. That is Steve's pick to endorse. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I just can't quite bring myself to pick Alabama. I am a big Clemson fan. I do like Dabo Swinney a lot. I think what he's doing down at Clemson is amazing. But I just got this gut feeling that I think it might be Georgia's year.
Yeah. We'll see. So looking at our 3 teams, Noel, Alabama beat University of Louisiana Lafayette, otherwise known as OL. They won 56-14. Mm-hmm. Keith, man, your team, Clemson, barely beat Syracuse 27-23, and that was a costly game for them.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of scary.
And and then Georgia had a nice win over Tennessee, 38-12. So I know we've been patting our 3 teams so far. So Keith, are you staying strong? I sensed you're wavering a little bit.
I'm gonna say for now that I'm staying strong, but I do have a backup plan. So.
Gotcha.
I'm really concerned after last weekend and just how they squeaked it out against A&M. I don't see that they're going to go all the way, but that's okay. I'm going to keep it for now.
Very good. So as we look at our 3 teams, Alabama's still number 1, Georgia's number 2, and Clemson dropped from number 3 to number 4. So the pollsters noticed that. So we'll see how Clemson recovers this week. So
yeah.
All right, so let's talk week 6 games. Y'all ready for this?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Yes.
This is my 5-0 week. I feel it.
Do your stretches, everybody. Okay.
Maybe I mean 0-5. We'll see. Let's go.
So no Pac-10 or Pac-12 games this week. We're going to do a game out of ACC.
Okay.
Number 6 Notre Dame against number 24 Virginia Tech.
Okay.
We're going to do out of the Big Ten, Iowa at Minnesota. And that's 2, 3, and 1 teams facing off there. Big 12, we're going to do the Red River rivalry.
Good stuff.
And number 19 Texas versus number 7 Oklahoma.
Okay.
We're going to do a game out of the SEC, number 5 LSU at number 22 Florida. And then finally another SEC game, number 13 Kentucky at Texas A&M. So I think last week a lot of people said that these games were hard to pick in week 5, and week 6 might be just as challenging. So
this is going to be tough.
Yeah, exactly. So let's run.
There's no Richardson in the group. So
no Richardsons, yeah.
That's right.
Right away,
you'll find a way. You'll find a way. We know.
That's right.
Say it again.
No Sac State this week, Steve.
You didn't select the what is it, the what do they call the Sam Houston versus SFA? It's got some name.
Battle of the Piney Woods.
There you go. The Battle of Piney Woods isn't part of the group this week, huh?
Yeah. Well, I don't get to see all those commercials like you do. Last time I lived in Houston, all you saw was those commercials every other.
Yeah. HEB is sponsoring it, so it's like every other commercial on the radio.
Yeah.
So crazy. Yeah.
All right, Andy. So you get the honors on this first game. Number 6 Notre Dame at number 24 Virginia Tech. Who do you got?
I am not a fan of the Fighting Irish at all, and I never have been. But man, they look good.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think I can go against them. I think I've got to pick Notre Dame in this game.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
They look really good.
No, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Notre Dame too. I think they're a force to be reckoned with this year. Unfortunately, as much as I don't like them, they're pretty good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Keith, who do you have there?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. I picked against Virginia Tech last week with Duke, and I think Duke is another Texas Tech where it's a cautious. I think there's some Duke people that have a cautiously pessimistic podcast. I'm just saying. So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame myself. So
okay, sounds good. I'm a little bit distracted by the fact that it's at Virginia Tech and they just beat Duke. But I'm going to operate safe on this one and also pick Notre Dame. So 4 of us going Notre Dame there.
Wow. Sweet.
Yeah. So Noel, we'll let you go first with Iowa at Minnesota.
Iowa at Minnesota. I've always. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Minnesota. For no other reason, just like saying their name.
Yeah. All right, Keith, who do you have?
Oh, I love it. You know what? Minnesota, they're playing in Minnesota, aren't they?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Let's see. Last week they got destroyed by Maryland. I'm going to go with Iowa.
Okay. Solid.
Iowa lost to Wisconsin. It was a close game, and they've pretty much rolled the rest of the season. So I'm going with Iowa.
Okay.
Plus, I still like their waving thing, so I'm still going with it.
They're not as fun to say.
Yeah.
It's not as fun to say. You're right, Noel.
Yeah.
And I like their colors.
Iowa always finds a way to win 9 or 10 games every season, despite not being ranked right now. So I'm going to also take Iowa. Andy, who do you have?
I think I got to go with Iowa also.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, Noel, you're either going to be awesome or the
the laughing stock. Yeah, I get it.
It's okay.
All right, Keith. We'll let you lead off here of number 19 Texas versus number 7 Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
No comment otherwise. Just I think they're just really good. So
yeah. I'll ride that train as well. Even though this is a game that we probably wish a giant crater would open up in the earth. But
Isn't that the truth?
yeah, Oklahoma is red hot right now, so I'll take them. Andy, who do you have?
Yeah, I think I got to go with the Sooners on that one. I don't think Texas can hang with them for a full game.
All right. And Noel, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the same. I'm gonna pick Oklahoma. The Sooners.
Boy, you realize that means there's going to be at least 2 solid losses for us since we swept 2 things, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's right. That's a perfect cautiously pessimistic statement as well.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
That way our bases are covered. We told you we were going to lose. That's why we picked them. It works.
All right. I'll lead off here with number 5 LSU at number 22 Florida. I think LSU is red hot. They got great chemistry on that team, and I haven't picked against them this season, so I'm going to take LSU. Andy, who do you have?
Was it week 1 that LSU destroyed Miami?
That is correct.
Is that when that was? Yep. Came up out of, they were ranked, just barely ranked, and then destroyed Miami, who was at the top.
Yep.
I think that just kind of set the tone for the season.
Yeah.
And I think LSU is pretty solid all around. I've got to go with LSU on this game.
Yeah. Awesome. Noah, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with LSU too. I just think they're good, really good this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Man.
And Keith, who do you have?
You know what?
You're gonna pick Florida.
Florida lost to Kentucky, didn't they?
Yes. Everybody's lost to Kentucky. Nobody's beat Kentucky this year. They're 5-0.
I know they're undefeated.
Football,
that's crazy.
even.
Yeah, I know. And they played Kentucky at home. LSU for me.
Oh wow.
All right.
All of a sudden,
man, 4-way sweep.
Yep. So far, I have the only pick that's different from the rest of the gang.
Yeah,
I almost did Florida right then just for that reason.
I could sense it. You're on the fence.
I was on the
trying
verge.
to push
I
you
was,
off, but you stuck to it.
Yeah.
So.
I got a feeling that this next game might change that a little bit, though.
You think?
So,
Okay.
Andy, we'll start with you. Number 13, Kentucky at Texas A&M. Who do you got?
This is a hard one.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
And I had a feeling. And I was thinking,
I was waiting for that.
even before we started all this, I had a feeling that you were going to pick this game because I think it's one of the better games of the weekend.
Yeah,
I agree.
And it's in College Station, isn't it?
it sure is.
I think it's in College Station. And then I look at Kentucky, who has come out of nowhere and has a quality win over Florida. But then you look at everybody else, and it's a bunch of also-rans. Mississippi State was predicted to be pretty good, and they destroyed Mississippi State. But the other teams, I don't know, not an unestablished, I guess, team in Kentucky trying to go into Kyle Field and win. I think I got to go with the Aggies on this one.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Noel, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick A&M too. I think Kentucky's. I have this feeling about Kentucky that their year is sort of like the beginning of most Tech years, where they start off, 5-0, and they make all the headlines, and they move up, and then they collapse. And I think that this is going to be the beginning of the rough streak of their schedule. And hopefully I'm wrong, and they go in there and beat A&M. That'd be pretty entertaining. But I have a feeling that I think A&M is gonna beat them. Put an end to their 5-0 streak.
Sounds good. Keith, who do you have?
Well, let's see.
Pick Kentucky.
And I'm thinking about it. I really am. I really, really am.
I can hear Daryl now screaming in the micro, screaming in the.
He's like mad at me right now thinking about this. So A&M's lost to Clemson. They squeaked by Arkansas last week, right? I mean, literally squeaked by Arkansas. And Arkansas got destroyed
by everybody.
By North Texas.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
I mean, got destroyed by North Texas. I'm going Kentucky.
Wow. Good pick.
That's right. I will be the one that's wrong, but I'm going for it.
We'll see. So, here's all what we do know is if Kentucky does win this game, Daryl will be wearing more blue in his Facebook pictures than we've ever seen him wear. And
That's true.
Is that possible?
which is, by the way, Daryl, if you're listening, it's really bizarre to see a Red Raider wearing so much blue. But,
Oh,
but this is a tough one because it's in College Station, and I don't know how if Jimbo Fisher is worth the money they're paying the guy. He's going to find a way to make sure they don't lose at home. So I'm going to take Texas A&M.
he certainly knows how to shake them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, did I do that? Did I do that? How do you like your martinis? Shaken, not stirred, right?
oh man.
Oh,
He was working his inner Bob Knight on that one.
yeah, right. He did. He channeled it.
So, guys, that's the Week 6 games. Thanks again to everybody listening in for joining us, and it's been a lot of fun so far. So, we'll see. Maybe these games aren't as tough as we thought they were. So, we'll see.
So, Andy, we're glad that you're on, and basically a little bit about yourself. You are a director of bands at a high school down there in the Houston area. And definitely means that you've got some experience with teenagers. Am I wrong?
That I do every day.
So what we decided today was we have in the past, for some of our listeners, we've had a segment called the Teenage Correspondent, where we've learned as adults, we try to be cool again. And so we had our teenage correspondents from all over the place come on, teach us a thing or two about verbiage that they use every day. And what they did was they introduced us a couple of words or phrases, and we had to figure out what the heck they were talking about and try to use it in a sentence and throughout the week. So what we thought we would do is, since you've got the experience with teenagers, we've got a couple of these words, and we wanted to see if you've ever heard of them. And if you have, if you know what they mean, and if you ever use them yourself to try to get their attention, right? So
this could get very interesting and possibly go down in flames really fast.
Either way, we've got the edit button. We're good, man. We're good. So,
there you go.
We're fine.
So I know that Noel and Steve, who wants to go first with the words that they like? I'm going to let Steve go first. Since you did the college pick 'em, you get the first shot.
Okay. So, I think the one that brought us the most laughs was the word Hundo P.
Have you heard of that before?
Say it again.
Hundo P. Spelled Hundo. Hundo. I can't spell.
I'm like, wow.
Monday brain fog. Hundo-P.
Yes.
I have never heard that word or whatever it is before in my life. I have no idea.
We weren't the only ones.
Yeah.
You are not alone, amigo.
We drew a blank on this one, and we guessed at all sorts of things and got actually pretty funny, but it actually stands for 100%. So it's like,
wow.
You think you did well on that test today? Hundo P. So
Hundo P.
Apparently proper way
See,
to do that.
I've even said that to my kids, and they're both teenagers, and both of them looked at me like I was strange too. So that came from.
Yeah, I think that might have been I think that's a local one.
I think it is.
That was more on the East Coast, and I don't know. Most of the guys that I talked to on my teenage correspondent, they're like, I've never heard of that one before. So I think that's a regional thing.
Yeah,
I do.
I don't think it's
starting to make me feel a little better.
Yeah, it was still a good one though. That one made me laugh hard.
Yeah.
So okay, Noel, which one do you have? You've got one, I'm sure.
I'm sure you probably heard this one, but so we start off with a more obscure one. This one's probably a little bit more used, probably, but savage.
Oh,
You've heard that used?
I have heard that. That's usually when somebody just roasts somebody else and you say that they're being savage or they are a savage. Absolutely.
Very well.
No hesitation.
We actually got that one.
Yeah, he got that one pretty good. So
yeah, no, it's not even hesitation. I'm impressed.
Yes.
Okay.
I know that. Well, I do have a master's degree in sarcasm, so I use that all the time.
In your line of work, you have to, man. You have to.
Kidding.
Absolutely.
Kidding.
Okay, so the one that I wanted to introduce is hard pass.
Mm-hmm.
Have you used hard pass?
That one I don't know.
Well played, Noel.
Perfect, because I have no idea. I don't know what that one is.
So basically, that just means I'm not going to go there. I'm done. I'm going to take a hard pass on this one. So, you just don't want to do it. So I'm taking a hard pass. So, yeah, that was a new one to me too. But I got to say, I use that one quite regularly now.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good one.
I
So
use Hundo Peak.
any others you guys have that you liked?
Our first teenage correspondent introduced the word lit.
Right.
Yep.
You hear that one a lot, don't you, Andy?
I hear that one a lot. Our kids use that all the time, saying that something's good or something's cool or whatever. Yeah. And then the variation on that I hear from a couple of my kids is Liddy.
Liddy.
Yeah, so they change it. It's not just lit, it's Liddy.
So
that one I don't.
That's like the
don't
step.
hear as much.
It's like the level up.
Exactly, it's the next step.
Wow.
Man,
how about that?
okay.
Learned something new today.
Liddy.
Go.
You know what?
Okay, see, I learned it. That's awesome.
The thing that we learned through this, Andy, was like these kids have like multiple words that describe the same meaning. So many
Exactly.
words that mean cool to us. So
Yes.
Yep.
very confusing.
What other words do they use that mean cool, Andy?
Oh.
What is a word that you're like, I would have never thought of that in a million years that you hear all the time?
One of them that's pretty common is they use the term Gucci a lot.
Oh yeah.
Gucci.
And that,
Yes.
that just means it's something is good or cool or whatever. It's the same kind of thing.
Okay.
So they'll
Yeah.
use that
Wow.
a pretty decent amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll walk down the hall and I hear things. I'm like, I have no idea. There's a whole conversation going on. I have no idea what those people said. No clue at all.
I totally believe that. Man.
I don't feel so bad. Andy spends time with them all day, and I don't. He doesn't know some of the stuff. So,
Yep.
Hundo P.
Is Fortnite a big thing down there with your kids?
It is. It's not a whole lot. Not as much with the high school kids. It's more with the younger kids that are all into it.
Okay.
I taught a camp this summer and taught several junior high classes, and that was all they wanted to talk about nonstop was playing Fortnite. And then I got this or got that or this came out, and I just kind of let them talk. I was like, great, good for you. I have no idea what you just said other than the fact that you're playing a game. Yeah, those junior high kids are pretty obsessed with it.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. So there was an article in GQ that I think it's been shot down, but there was an article in GQ that said that Fortnite was now responsible for at least 200 divorces.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think another news article decided to shoot that down, but it is saying, like on CNBC, even they were talking about an online survey that couples are now blaming Fortnite for their divorces. So I really have tried it a couple of times. I'm pretty sure that's not going to divorce me. I'm pretty good there now. So. I really try. I just sit there like when my son wants to play like online. I'll try to play with him, and I basically just sit there, and he's like, "Man, a good job, Dad." I was like, "I just took a step, so I don't even know." Yeah, you didn't die. Okay, that's good, right?
Yeah.
So
Those kids are ruthless, man.
they are.
Yep.
It is on fire.
There's-
Well, speaking of kids in this time of year, Halloween plans for anybody?
Well,
You guys have parties at your house, or what's the thing?
yeah.
Exactly.
not
Besides go to
really.
bed early and watch a movie or something. No, we actually live in a neighborhood for a change that actually does trick or treating, so we're a little excited about that.
That's
It's
cool.
probably gonna be like
That's
30
cool.
degrees outside when that happens.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's true. I tell you what, they really dedicated if they go out trick or treating up there.
Yeah, totally.
Really. They'll come dressed as Eskimos. Real
Candy's
road-
frozen when they get home.
Yeah, really.
That's right. That's right. They're like, I don't know, maybe we have to wait about an hour for this to defrost before we can eat it. So,
The chip a tooth.
Yeah, really. Be careful there. It's gonna hurt. Does Noel or Andy? Do you all have I mean, our neighborhood is insane with how many kids are out here. Do you all have a lot over yours, or?
Yes.
We've got a pretty good amount that'll come all up and down the street, which is cool.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah,
we have people that like ship in their they come in trucks and stuff and just jump out from other neighborhoods into our neighborhood and start trick or treating and stuff. So.
Yeah, Noel, that's actually a pretty big topic at school, even with some of the high school kids talking about your neighborhood. Like, oh yeah, we're going to go over there, and they'll all get together, and none of them live in that neighborhood, but just for Halloween, they'll all go over there and trick or treat in your neighborhood.
They know that's where the loot's at.
Yeah,
that's right.
It gets out of control, and it's the teenagers too. I mean, like there's a big roaming mob of them, about 30 or 40 of them walking down the street, and they just consume everything in their path. So
they're getting so old. It's like this guy's dressed up at Gandalf, but that was his real beard. It wasn't fake. You're 79, sir. Trick or treat. It's crazy.
Trick or treat.
It's like you slowly see the age of trick or treaters getting older and older. It's kind of funny. So. Speaking of Halloween and stuff, what is a ghost's favorite exercise?
A ghost's favorite exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any idea, man.
Anybody else? Anybody got any?
No.
The deadlift.
Oh yeah.
That's painful, wasn't it? Sorry about that.
Yeah. You know what you call a man with no nose and no body?
Nobody knows.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice. Wow.
Oh, that was you were due, bro.
Yeah, it was. It's been a while since we've had that happen, but
yeah, it has been.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty good.
It's been a while.
I didn't know we were quite going into joke time, but I did have a question for y'all before we started the jokes. I was curious, do any of y'all know sign language?
Is this a joke?
Andy, do you know sign language at all?
I don't guess I know sign language.
Mm-mm.
Well, I hear you should learn it because it comes in pretty handy.
Oh. Nice. Hey, wait to take it out and back in, man. Oh, yeah. Let's get serious for a second. That was a smoke and mirror right there. That was nice.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Andy, you were supposed to come armed.
Well, I was thinking these are pretty bad. It may put me into therapy. I may have to go lay down on a couch somewhere and talk to somebody. And I actually did that last week. I went in and I talked to a therapist for a little while, and I said, "Hey, man, what's the strangest thing you've ever seen happen?" He said, "Well, I had a guy walk in last week wearing nothing but saran wrap." I said, "What'd you say to him?" I looked him straight in the eye and said, "I can clearly see your nuts."
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh, nice. Home run.
Oh my gosh.
I was actually thinking about coming back with a second joke to make up for my first one, but I'm not going to follow that.
Yeah,
I'm not either. That was way too good.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Follow away this episode is done.
That's it. We're 34 episodes in. That's a top 10 at least. That's easy.
Wow.
Easily.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
That's going to make the next
Our greatest hits part 2.
Yes.
That's right. Our laugh reel. Our greatest hits laugh reel. That's next.
The best jokes.
Good job.
Oh, that was good. Oh my
great.
gosh, that was good.
All right. All right. Well, who wants to take us out? Steve.
I'll take us out.
All right.
Yeah,
Keith.
Steve, you don't take us out. Do you take us out? Who takes us out usually?
No, it's your turn, Keith.
Okay, I'll do it. So, man, Andy, we're glad you're on. We know we have a lot more questions to ask you. One of the things we want to find out next time, if you'll humor us again, is how to lead a group of teenagers, and you do it better than most of anybody I know. So we're going to save that for another day. But we're really glad you're on, Andy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate the invite. It's been a blast hanging out with you guys for a little while tonight.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, I hope all your picks are right because most of them are mine. So that's good.
If I do well this week, we all do well this week.
Yeah, I hope we all do. We're either going to do all really well or really bad. So,
Really?
No, Steve, it's fun as always. We had a rough Monday, so again, thanks for filling my sales back up, dudes.
Yeah.
And
Likewise.
we will talk to you. Oh, and just a shout out, we have had our best download week ever.
Awesome.
So thank you to our listeners. I wanted to make sure that
Thank you, everybody.
we knew that. We also added Pennsylvania. We added
Alabama.
Yeah, so we added Pennsylvania, we added Alabama, and we added the Netherlands this week. So thank you all for listening in those areas. And again, for the most download weeks we ever had, we really appreciate everybody listening. Please send us some feedback. Give us some ideas. If you'd like to take a part, join us. And you know how to find us, Testosterone PC on Instagram, Twitter, the Testosterone Podcast at gmail.com if you want to email us. But we'd love to have you on. Everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you in episode 35.
Whoa. You know what?
Well, wait, what? Backing up.
We're missing a state, aren't we?
Are we? Oh, that one.
Louisiana?
Loserana.
Yeah, and we've even picked your school a lot, so you need to step it up.
Yeah.
How many times we picked LSU? Pretty much every time they've come up, we picked LSU, and still no love from that dang state. They can all
No love.
Uranus.
You know, I'm throwing some more hashtags out their way this week. We're going to make this happen. Our
Our
challenge by this time next week, we are going to have Louisiana on the map.
We will. They're surrounded. I think we have
Absolutely.
every state all the way around them now. But
We do.
They're
the only ones left.
Those jerks. All right. Well,
Yeah, that's right.
Now-
All right.
now we-
Well, everybody have a great week. We'll see you at episode 35.
take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Take it easy.
Hey, thanks again for listening to the Testosterone Zone. We sure had a blast visiting with you. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, leave us some feedback, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
All Testosterone Zone podcast episodes are written and produced by Noel, Keith, and Steve unless otherwise noted.
The opinions expressed in the Testosterone podcast are our own and not those of our employers, families, parents, kids, dogs, cats, your mom, or any other entity Noel, Keith, or Steve are affiliated with now, in the past, or in the future, or ever.